Hello crows and non-crows alike, my name is Joe Mac, otherwise known as Support Crow, and today, I've got a theory about Michael DeGarmo, one of our companions from the Expanse Osiris Reborn being developed by Owlcat Games. If you want to play the game unspoiled and want to learn everything for yourself, then continue watching with fair warning. This is spoilers all territory. Now before we bite into Michael's ass, let's cover what we already know about him. Here is the information we got from PC Gamer some time ago. After growing disillusioned with the United Nations military and then private security too, this beefy soldier chose the mercenary life. He's principled and troubled by past tragedy, though not so much of either that he won't happily charge into the thick of things with a shield and shoulder-mounted autocannon. His exploit is demolition. And here's some more recent information given to us by Owlcat themselves. Michael DeGarmo, Origin Earther, Shippost Gunner, Crew Function Defense. Michael's assault gear includes a shoulder-mounted autocannon and an ultra-strong shield. Such equipment is designed for long-term engagements and allows him to charge right into the thick of battle, causing confusion in enemy ranks with his sudden onslaught. Michael is one of the very few Earthers who managed to find a life beyond basic. After his army training and becoming disillusioned with the United Nations ideology and dubious methods, he chose a career in private security over military service. But even there, Michael couldn't remain true to his principles. After gathering his own crew, he immediately found himself directly in the crosshairs of a serious and extremely dangerous enemy. Michael is more than reluctant to talk about his past. The ghosts of violence torment him, and he would rather die than let them out once again. Completely ignoring the last line because I really don't like the implications of it, let's just summarize what we have here. Michael was on basic assistance, aka the United Nations welfare system, a program that over 15 billion other people on Earth utilize because they are unemployed. Michael likely found his escape via becoming a Marine in the United Nations Navy, where he became, quote, disillusioned, leaving to join a private security force and leaving that to start his own mercenary team. We are left with some pretty major questions. What was it that disillusioned Michael and motivated him to leave the Navy? If he started his own mercenary group, what happened to them? Why is he on our ship rather than on his own ship with his own team? And what is this extremely dangerous enemy that his team comes head to head with? I've got some theories that I'm working on for all of these questions, but today we're going to talk about his past and what his companion story might include. So, the question: what broke Michael away from the Navy? His character bio talks about past tragedy and the United Nations, quote, dubious methods. There is one major event in the United Nations history that nails this on the head perfectly, and that event is Anderson Station. As you might have guessed, one of the major and more prominent jobs in the asteroid belt is the mining of asteroids for minerals and metals. Anderson Station is a home and workplace for belters that mine neighboring asteroids. Thousands of belters not only call this station their place of employment, but also their home. They have families here that grow up and eventually take on the family trade, assuming they don't find work somewhere else. However, the conditions of Anderson Station were far from ideal. You have to pay for water and oxygen, both of which are being price gouged by greedy corporate bastards, leading to scarcity and desperation. It all boils down to a company just not wanting to foot the bill for a bunch of belters they could easily replace if need be. One day, years before the game takes place, the people of Anderson Station start to notice that their children are getting sick. The oxygen level within the station had a very low concentration, which was causing their children to develop cerebral hypoxia, symptoms of which manifest as cyanosis, your skin turning blue, in other words. Not to mention sleeping longer and longer hours, seizures, memory loss, comas, eventually brain death. The population of Anderson Station sent out their complaints, but Anderson Hoysong Group, the company that owns the station, flat out refused to send medical aid and denied that there was any issue with the oxygen whatsoever. In response, the miners took over Anderson Station in mass protest and they went on strike, effectively shutting down all operations. Instead of just sending medical help and fixing the oxygen, Anderson Group labels these people as extremists and sends a request to the United Nations to put down the threat. Not long after, a United Nations Navy vessel shows up at the station, led by Colonel Fred Johnson, and the station goes under blockade for days. No food, no water, no oxygen is being delivered to the station in that time. Fearing for the lives of their children who are already sick and dying, the protesters surrender, and they surrender again, and they surrender again, and again, and again. However, Colonel Fred Johnson and the ship does not get the reply. That is because the call of surrender is being blocked by the United Nations Navy, who have just stopped negotiating with these people entirely.
4 days ago, the miners working for the Anderson Hyosung Corporation took control of the station in an effort to protest the treatment of our children. Satara Molly. This is my daughter, Kiri. She and the other children have been diagnosed with what the medics are calling hypoxic brain injury. It's due to the low oxygen working environments. She got it when she came to live here with me. The company is refusing us medical assistance, and they're denying that problem even exists. We're not a violent people. We didn't intend for anyone to be hurt during our protests. And for that, I am sorry. We have tried repeatedly to surrender to the UN Marines, but we just wanted to be hurt for the sake of our children.
Eventually, they give Fred Johnson the order to attack the station and put down the terrorists. From here, there's a bit of a separation between what happens in the show and what happens in the books. In the show, the leader of the protesters is broadcasting a message to the entire system, for anyone to hear it. While he's doing so, Fred Johnson attacks the station from his ship and blows it up. The station immediately depressurizes and kills everyone. Men, women, children, the whole lot. In the novella, Fred Johnson takes a boots-on-the-ground approach. He is given the order to take back the station, and he is under the impression that these terrorists are holding down hostages. It takes several hours to take the station, but what they don't know is that the leader of the protesters has hooked up the station security system cameras to a live feed that is actively broadcasting the massacre to the entire solar system. Whichever way the cookie crumbles, it's a major PR nightmare for the United Nations. Fred Johnson receives a Medal of Honor for his efforts, but he quickly resigns after. The Belchers have renewed hatred for the United Nations, and Fred Johnson is branded as the Butcher of Anderson Station. So what does this have to do with Michael? Well, Fred Johnson rolls up to Anderson Station in a Leonidas-class battleship. And according to the Expanse wiki, this battleship holds up to 920 United Nations Marines. What if Michael DeGarmo was one of those 920 Marines? What if he participated in the taking of Anderson Station? Participated in the massacre? What if that is the great tragedy that caused him to be disillusioned from the Navy? What if that is the horror that is still haunting him to this day? The ghosts of the people that he massacred? If this is true, I bet two things. One, that we find this out about Michael, not because he tells us, but because part of the security footage is still around and we get our hands on it, and we see him essentially double tapping protesters. And two, I bet we will eventually go back to Anderson Station, so Michael can confront his past. Anderson Station in the TV show was destroyed, but Anderson Station in the books, the station was taken. What happened after that is kind of up for debate. It might have been left to just float and rot in space. It might have been reclaimed by the company and just went back to work. It might have just been entirely scrapped. We do not know. I think it would be great to see a repeat of history here. But this time, Michael is in the shoes of the protesters. Maybe Anderson Station is facing another oxygen-related crisis and we're back to how it was all those years ago. Except this time, Michael is there. And he might know how to change things so history does not have to repeat itself. And maybe, in the process, he finds atonement in the act of doing so. Hell, maybe even Fred Johnson shows up to give us a hand. That'd be pretty cool. Let me know what you think Michael's story is going to go down in the comments, and let me know what you think about this theory. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Shout out to my support crow members SolitaryWarCry and J Blastoise. Your support keeps me going. Until next time, as always, be safe, be well, be kind. Bye bye.